What I'm going to do pretty much today is I'm going to state an argument, and we're going to come to a conclusion once and for all. What is the best way to get high, alcohol or weed? Or weed pen. I just threw that in because I thought it would be fun. So that's the argument. Weed pen, weed, or alcohol. So let's get our buddies out here first. We're just going to throw them in a B tier for now, at random. We have weed pen, alcohol, and weed. All right. So let's start with alcohol. Okay. First, what we're going to do is we're just going to state all the positive things about alcohol and what it does that is so awesome. So I'm just going to get started and go through it, jump right into it. So, usually when I get alcohol, we're going to start at the beginning. So, usually how it goes is I'm bored, there's nothing to do, so I go to the store after a long time of back and forth in the head of if I want to do it or not, because of the feeling that you get afterwards, but we're not going to get into that yet. We're still on this. So, I go to the store, I get a bottle, then I come home, and the party's getting started. When the bottle pops open and and the music comes on, and it don't stop. It turns up, turns back down because I don't want to get evicted, and then it turns up again. That shit, crazy. So when the bottle hits, it's it's party mode. Like, there's no other way to do it. That shit goes fire. The louder the music is, the better it sounds. It's like everything is just better not giving a fuck. It's fucking crazy. It's like you could say the wildest shit, and it's just like no one cares because everyone's too drunk to even notice. Like, it's fucking crazy. So when you're drinking, that's how it feels, right? It feels good. I feel like the room would be spinning a little bit. That's actually a good thing. I think a lot of people back out of drinking because of that feeling. But, however, I'm making the argument, I think that's a good feeling. As long as it's not too much. Like, if the room's spinning at a gradual pace, like, if it's, like, a reasonable spinning, like, if it's not spinning, but if it's just a little moving, like, that's okay. Like, that's just called being drunk, honestly. So, yeah, alcohol feels great. It feels great when you're partying. And now we're going to go into, like, what it feels like dealing with it afterwards. And now this is the negative aspect. Well, actually, you know what? Scratch that. We're going to go right on to the next thing. We're going to put a pin in it. So that's the good part of alcohol. It's crazy party time. Every time it comes. So, next we have weed. Now, I've been a big marijuana stan for some time, honestly. But I'm not going to let my bias get in the way of this list. I won't. We're going to keep this real. So, there's weed. Weed is usually a bit more expensive than alcohol. Now, that's another thing we can put in that pin for alcohol being good, is it's really cheap, very easy to get. As long as you're of the age, you have no problem getting alcohol. If you got a couple bucks, you know what I mean? It's really cheap. The weed is a little more expensive, so and it runs out way quicker because you'll find that whoa, hold on, I need to slow down, we're not there yet. All right, so it is, okay, so the weed, okay, I lost fucking track, okay. So we have weed. And you get the weed. What are the good things about weed? Okay, when you get the weed, it's really fun because usually things chill out. Once you get it rolled up, honestly, let's begin with the feeling of rolling the blunt. When you open the bag and you get the first whiff of that green, it's just so pleasant to your nose. It's like, so you roll it up, and when you're rolling it, it feels super cool. You feel super cool rolling up the blunt. It's really cool. So you're rolling up the blunt, and it's like a process to it. And like when you're smoking weed, there's a process to it. Like, you can't just crack it open and drink it. You gotta roll it. You gotta split it. So you're splitting, you're rolling, and then you finally got it done. So now it's time to smoke it. Weed is great. When you hit the blunt, you doze off a little bit, kind of in your own world. Might have some crazy thoughts, just chilling. And then, like, it's just chill. Like, I don't know, there's not much else to it. It's just chill. That's the best part of it. It just feels so chill. It's like nothing, like a meteorite could come crashing down from space, and I just look out my window and be like, damn, that's fucking crazy. Like, weed is like great. It just chill. It makes everything chill. So next we have the weed pen. Now, the weed pen is a little bit different feeling. When I get weed, it feels a little different from the weed pen. Because usually you can easily get access to this from, like, corner store. Except some of the ones at the gas station. Some of them ones are really whack. I don't really trust all those. But you can usually get them from the corner store. If you get one that's not weird or cheap, you usually can get one that's pretty decent. You can also get the higher up ones. Those are really fire, too. Honestly, I'm just going to put them in the same category. Like, they're fire. They get you high. It's relatively lasts longer. So that's really cool about it. And it also gets you chill. It makes things funnier, actually. Actually, I've noticed that things are just funnier, also, when I'm using weed products. Things are a lot funnier, and that's always good. So, now let's list the negatives of alcohol. Okay. When I'm done having my ultimate fucking power mode moment, bro, it's like everything is just like everything is just like, it's like the party's over, and then it's like, it just feels kind of dull afterwards. Like you want to keep going, but you know you can't because you don't want your liver to be cooked. So, you gotta, like, slow your roll. And that's kind of lame. Also, you get really fucked up, and sometimes you throw up, or you have this weird acidy feeling in your intestines, and it's like, it's hard to get food down, and then you're stuck in bed the next day. It's honestly the worst feeling ever. And then you check your bank account, and you realize you bought a vape or a Black and Mild, and you know you didn't want to do that, but you did it anyways. Maybe you said a couple crazy things. If you don't do that, and you worked on that, that's really great. But then there's always the feeling of just utter, like, bleh. So, I don't know. I'm not going to rank it just yet. We're getting there. I know this video is a bit long, and I know it's just 3 things I'm focusing on. But this is a deep video, so I'm not going to rank it yet, but we're going to get to it soon. So, next, there's weed. Now, the negatives of weed is it's not really always easy to get to. If you don't have a medical card, it can be hard to get weed. And not everyone really has time all the time, or honestly the money to get a weed card, so it can be tricky getting a weed card. But it's also not hard either, so it's kind of a give and take. No matter where you get it from, the dispensary or the streets, it's going to be more expensive than alcohol. And it relatively runs out much quicker than the weed pen and the alcohol combined. So you're going to be finding yourself buying more weed a lot. Because honestly, I mean, personally, I can't, like, smoke a bag of blunt kind of thing and then be like, okay, now I'm done smoking weed for a week. Like, I like to smoke, so, like, it's like a thing. Honestly, there are rare occasions also if you're smoking with the wrong person, or you might get a weird pack, or, like, sometimes it can give some people anxiety, so certain strands aren't always for certain people, and that can be tough to find the right strand for you. So that's, like, a negative. That can be annoying. The weed pen, I mean, the negative for the weed pen is it kind of gives me the creeps because I know that I'm inhaling out of a vape, and, I mean, I know vapes are cool and all, but, I mean, there are metals in it, I'm sure, so that's a little bit weird. And that shit will put you to sleep. If you're going to work or something and you hit that shit, you're out. Like that shit will put you out, so. So let's get to ranking it, I guess. I've dragged on long enough. So, I'm gonna go ahead and give alcohol a C tier. Just because, I don't know. See, it's really fun. It's in the fun category, it's in the S tier. But it also has a lot of negative effects, and it can damage health. It's not necessarily a habit that you can do a lot without being worried about yourself, if you give a shit. So, I don't really think alcohol deserves to be in the top tier, but I put it in C because it's kind of like in the middle right before it gets bad, and, like, it can be fun to drink on good occasions, or sometimes if there's really nothing to do, and sometimes it can be fun to listen to music and drink. So I'll give it a C tier. Now weed. Alright. Even though it is more expensive, my bias wants me to put weed in S tier, simply because of how amazing it is. But the money factor is true, it's there. And not everyone can tolerate weed. Some people really don't like it, so. Damn, it's a little biased, but I'm gonna give weed an S tier. I don't know. Now the weed pen, I think weed pen is good in B tier, honestly. I don't want to give it an A or S because it's great, it's good, but nothing really beats beating a blunt, and you can't really put it right underneath rolling a blunt because I mean, unpacking it out of the package and just hitting it and taking a fat rip is cool, but it's just not the same feeling as putting it together yourself like it's Minecraft or some shit and just fucking smoking it. So, I guess that's it. This is my tier list. Let me know, I guess, if you think that's wrong. But I think this is pretty accurate, so bye.